Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Sunday morning worship service of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. I am Bob Smallwood, a member of your Board of Trustees. We are glad you are here, whether you are present in the sanctuary this morning or watching remotely. It is so good to be together. We welcome you to our church and invite you to get to know us better during and after the service. As Unitarian Universalists, we hold that there are many paths to truth and meaning, and we support one another on our spiritual and religious journeys while holding ourselves in covenant through our shared 7 principles. The mission of the DuPage UU Church is this: to gather as an inclusive community to grow in character, mind, and spirit, and to transform the world towards fairness, love, and compassion. Whoever you are, wherever you are on life's journey, wherever you are in the world, you are welcome here.
Good morning. My name is Tina Lewis, and I serve as the Director of Membership and Engagement at your church.
And I'm Steve Cooper, and I'm the Director of Religious Education for all ages at this church. This morning, we want to talk about the time between services each Sunday. Some might call this time the social hour, or the middle hour, or education hour.
Beginning Sunday, September 8th, we are introducing a new offering called Community Hour on the second Sunday of every month. We hope first and second service attendees will participate in this special social hour. Light refreshments will be served, and upcoming events and activities will be promoted.
All other Sundays, there will be 1 or 2 adult learning opportunities, such as discussions on the new Article 2 values, or UU elevator speeches, mental health for our children, as well as Science Sunday and more. And religious education for our children and youth will continue during that same time.
Today, we're excited to offer an engagement fair to help you find ways to engage in your church. Stop by all 22 tables located throughout the church. Please make your way up to the Learning Center. And there are also little prizes at each tables, just so you know. Now, if you are online, I invite you to greet each other through the chat, and if you are present here, I invite you to turn to someone you did not come with and greet them with a wave and a good morning greeting.
The central task of religious community is to unveil the bonds that bind each to all. There is a connectedness, a relationship discovered amid the particulars of our own lives and the lives of others. Once felt, it inspires us to act for justice. It is the church that assures us that we are not struggling for justice on our own, but as members of a larger community, the religious community is essential. For alone, our vision is too narrow to see all that must be seen, and our strength too limited to do all that must be done. Together, our vision widens and our strength is renewed. Thus, we light our chalice for a wide vision to renew us in our creation of beloved community.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to this place of love, of communal flourishing. We enter this worship space to open our hearts, to expand our minds, and to see the sacred within each other. Come, let us worship together.
Please rise and body your spirit, and join us in hymn 1028 in the Teal hymnals, The Fire of Commitment. From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living brings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Please join me in our vision and mission statement. We gather as an inclusive community to grow in character, mind, and spirit, and to transform the world for fairness, love, and compassion. Shared values, diverse beliefs, beloved community.
Good morning. You saw something a little different there. We read our vision statement. So, my name is Kathy Neff, and I'm here as a member of our Visioning Task Force. This new task force has been created to help guide the DUUC congregation in coming up with an updated vision statement. Bob Harris will come up shortly to talk about what a vision statement is and why we need one. For now, I'd like to walk us through three things: who the task force members are and how we were selected, what each of our roles and responsibilities are, and how we'll go about our work. So now for introductions. The task force has 5 members. Jack Blair and Lauren Berdica are our co-chairs. Bob Harris is our clerk. And Carl Nash, who's in Colorado, and I are handling logistics. So how are we selected? Well, our leadership has learned over the past couple of years that polling the congregation or leaders of the congregation has been a beneficial way to get input into who would be effective committee or task force members, who you think have the skills and who you trust. So this method has been used to put together the Ministerial Search Committee and for the Capital Campaign Committee and so on. And so that's how the 5 of us were identified by some of our leaders as people who have the skills to do this important work, are trusted by the congregation, represent different demographics of our congregation, and also work well together. So to go about our work, Lauren and Jack have volunteered to be the co-chairs. And as the co-chairs, they'll run our biweekly meetings, determine our direction, adjust timelines and processes, and also process data from feedback sessions. Bob has volunteered as the clerk to take minutes, organize all our information, create announcements, and collect feedback. And as the logistics people, Carl and I will be helping to organize the meetings that I'll be talking about in just a moment. So finding rooms, reaching out to all of you to participate, identifying and securing speakers and facilitators and helpers, and then managing these events. But for now, here's the interesting part: how we'll actually go about the process of creating the vision statement. So if we fast forward, the end goal is that our task force will draft a vision statement, and if everything goes well, at next June's congregational meeting, the membership, all of you, will vote on it. But to get there, guess what? We need all of you, right? So the vision will come from the congregation, right? The task force, we're facilitators. It comes from the congregation because it's a collective vision. And here's some great news. A good portion of the work has already been done. Our process has been kick-started because over the past couple of years, through congregational conversations that all of you remember from the fall of 2022, those of you who are here, and then congregational feedback collected during the capital campaign process this past spring, a lot of information was gathered about where you all think DUUC should head in the future and what things we should be focusing on. So this data forms the initial basis of our work. And we've actually been meeting for the past couple of months already and have synthesized that feedback into the top 4 to 6 themes that could form the basis of our vision statement. So as we head into the fall, we'll be reaching back out to all of you to discuss those themes in more depth, to probe further, get more details about your thoughts, educate where necessary, and then try to get clarity on what that collective vision is. So in order to do that, we'll be scheduling a series of meetings. Right, next month in September, we'll start to put a schedule together, and we'll seek your participation in those meetings. Some sessions could be educational, right, with a speaker to inform us in areas where we need more depth and background. An example would be the topic of intersectionality. Some sessions will be participatory. In fact, they all will be, breaking into small groups to discuss topics. Think of things like justice or spiritual or congregational growth, community, and so on. So that will take us through the fall and the early winter. And so by the end of winter or early spring, we'll aim to have a draft vision statement that we can start circulating for feedback. And as I mentioned, by June, if everything goes well, we'll be voting together to hopefully approve the new vision statement that all of you have helped craft. So we are all looking forward to the visioning process, to learning from all of you and getting to know you better, and to partnering together to build and work toward our vision as a DUC community. Thanks.
Our vision of beloved community is rooted in the relationships that we have with each other, our world, and creation. Each week, we offer the opportunity for folks to share their joys and concerns aloud from the pulpit. Today's flowers were given by Ann Ariano and Carl Nash in celebration of their 2-year wedding anniversary and the not so imminent arrival any longer, because Ann texted me this morning. Their 4th grandchild was born, Miles Darwin Nash. Despite the fact that Mom would have been induced on Friday, he decided he's coming early and came at 2 a.m. on Friday morning. And I've got pictures if you'd like to see after the service. We wish Mom and baby and family well. We also have a joy from Kathy Neff and Suzanne Gowdy, who are celebrating today their 12th wedding anniversary. Woo-hoo! Suzanne writes, "It's been 12 blissful years, and no matter how much time we have together, it will never be enough." Indeed. Joy to both of you and many, many more years together. This afternoon at 1 p.m., we will be offering, the Pastoral Ministries Associates and I will be offering some time to hold in our hearts our member Danielle Bacon, who is missing and considered missing and endangered by the Naperville Police Department. If you would like to attend, please be here at church at 1 p.m. We also hold in our hearts all those who are living in spaces where conflict and war is rife, and where water, where food, where the basic necessities of life are not so basically available. Let us hold all in our hearts in this moment. Please join me for a moment of silence.
Now, if the children would like to come forward for our time together, or anybody else who wants to play with some Legos and talk about what it's like, you can, help bring some of those Legos over here.
Yeah, good. That's the spirit. Yeah, you can move. Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you. Okay. Thanks for coming up. Jack and I were wondering if you have ever built something really big with Legos. Or blocks. Anyone? I know I have. Yeah? Yeah?
What's something really big that you built with Legos? A big tower, yeah. You? A whole junkyard, yeah. Yeah, okay, Ryan's done that too. I got a little head start here on a vision of our church, a little rainbow church airplane.
Hybrid situation.
Yeah. You guys?
What would happen if we wanted to build something bigger than that? It depends on what.
What you want to build, the size, how much lots you need, you have the supply, demand, et cetera.
Yep, absolutely. Anyone else?
My dad always builds humongous things, like that big. Huge. Yes. Or maybe that big.
Sounds like a great builder.
Is that fun?
Yeah. And what might we need if we knew we wanted to build something huge? Luna? Yes, more hands. What do you think we would need if we wanted to know we were all going to build the same thing? Instructions, directions, right? Because otherwise you might build a castle, you might build a bridge, then we just have all these different things.
Has anybody ever gotten one of those boxes of things that with enough Legos to make exactly what's on the cover of the box, and it has a pack of directions inside? Yeah? You know what we're talking about, right? Well, what if you got a bunch of extra hands involved in a big project like that came in the box with the picture on it, but while everybody was getting excited about opening up the box and getting out all the Legos, you accidentally lost the directions?
Yeah, cry yourself to sleep. Absolutely.
But would that be it? Would it be over? You couldn't build it? Luna says, yes, you couldn't build it. But you know what it's going to look like, right?
Right.
So
this is what a vision statement shows. It's going to tell us what our church should look like in the future after we all work together to build something here at our church, right?
now, are we talking about actually building a new church building? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, no. No, but this is a metaphor for what we want our church community to be like. And we need to build it all together. Do you want to help? Do you want to help build the future of our church community? Yeah.
Yeah, you could help.
Good. We need your help.
Yeah. Yep. That's going to be the roof? Yes, we'll need a roof. That's right. So that's exactly what we're talking about. Everyone's going to bring their own skill, their own input, their own work, their own hearts to help us make this thing we all do together, which is church and community.
Now, what if there's something that we build, that one of us builds, that we really like, and we don't find a way to make it fit into the big picture on the box of Legos? Does that mean they can't still build the cool thing that they like? No, right. And can we take the cool things that we're building separately, like that cool thing you're building, Beatrix, can we fit it into a big Lego construction? Make it all work together?
Ta-da!
Yeah, maybe we can. Yes. So we're going to all work together to build whatever this turns out to be.
Yep. As you guys are an important part of our church, and everyone here, we're all going to grow together and do our best to make this place the best that it can be. Good? Good. All right, now let's sing to the children. Yes, we need a window.
Happy
Giving of our treasure is how we reciprocate the many gifts we are given by this community. Your contribution supports the programs and operations of DuPage UU Church. Giving is also how we live our values in the world. Each month, we share our offerings with an organization nominated by the congregation and selected by the special offerings team. August's special collection was nominated by DUC member Barbara Roos for SERET, an organization that helps needy individuals, especially those with medical challenges and disabilities, who, for various reasons, receive minimal and sometimes no aid from governmental organizations. Many would be homeless without the assistance from SERET. Their mission is to prevent homelessness and hunger in the western suburbs of the Chicagoland area and to provide hope when hope seems impossible, to restore dignity to individuals or families facing a current economic and life crisis, as the organization seeks creative tools to help move the family toward economic stability. This morning's offering to support the work of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church and SERET is given and received in a spirit of generosity and gratitude.
What a beautiful piece of music and beautifully played before my presentation. We, your Visioning Task Force, are excited to begin our work visioning with you all, but you may also be wondering, what is a vision statement and why do we need one? A well-run organization, especially one with as many members as we have, should have both a mission statement and a vision statement. Actually, technically, we do have both. As you saw, you cited them this morning. A mission statement is a concise statement of core purpose. It is an identity statement, answering the question, who are we? Our mission statement, which is recited each service, reads, we gather as an inclusive community to grow in character, mind, and spirit, and to transform the world toward fairness, love, and compassion. That's our purpose. That's who we are and why we exist in the first place. Usually, mission statements don't change much over the years, although they are reviewed every few years. On the other hand, a vision statement is, in a few sentences, a clearly defined picture of what the church wants to become in a specific time frame. For purposes of this presentation, I choose 5 years, but there's no magic number. I like the word vision because this is what people see when they look at the church and its activities. It gives direction to all that is done here. It should be phrased to convey the excitement to come. The vision statement leads to creation of a strategic plan created by the board, which states how we will accomplish this vision. Our current vision statement was adopted around 2012, and it reads, as you saw on the screen, shared values, diverse beliefs, beloved community. I have learned that this was created actually as a slogan for a public event, but not as an intentional vision statement. It just sort of was called a vision statement at some point. I like to compare these both to a family going on vacation. Their mission as a family might be, our family has fun. We strive collectively to be a supportive source of laughter, joy, renewal, and growth to each member. Okay, that wouldn't change. To live into their mission, they create a vision for this year to go on vacation to a cottage on a lake, fishing and swimming with grilled burgers for dinner. Just think, if a family got in a car and started driving, but had no clue as to where they were going or what a vacation would look like. They might run out of gas, unable to find a hotel, and get lost, or they might still have fun without a destination, like ending up at a luxury spa, but find themselves with no money at the end of their vacation. In those cases, their vision does not align with their mission. So the essential question is, what do people see when they look at our church, say, in 5 years? Do they see lots of social justice work? Do they see great educational opportunities for both children and adults? Do they see an ethnically diverse congregation? Do they see a church living our values of pluralism or interdependence? None of these choices are necessarily good or bad, but they must reflect the needs, interests, and values of our members. A well-written vision statement serves as a way to keep us on track. We measure what we do against the vision statement. A church without a clear vision statement runs the risk of becoming splintered and lacking energy, doing some of this and some of that and not anything all that well. As we move towards our future, we are excited to consider who we wish to become and hope to craft a vision statement that guides our work together on specific goals and dreams. It's also important to state what a vision statement is not. It is not a to-do list. We leave that to the creation of the strategic plan. It is not vague, general, or unclear. We are not a church that is just driving off on a vacation to who knows where. The two things, a vision statement and a mission statement, play off each other. As the church accomplishes its vision, it may come to realize that their mission is not quite what they thought it was, and so it can be tweaked. Also, as the vision is realized, the new addition is built, or a social justice goal is reached, the vision will be reviewed and updated. The essential idea here is to put into words who and what we are, what we stand for, and what we want to accomplish in clear words in the world. Churches can do so many different things for good in the world. The question is, what does DUUC want to do? What do the members, current and potential, want from the church? What do we really care about? And what is realistic and meets the needs of our members? That's why it is essential for our team to work with all of you to answer those questions and give our beloved community identity and the strength to live out our mission. Thank you.
Please rise and body your spirit and join in hymn number 126, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing.
Perfection,
The Tanakh is the sacred scripture of the Hebrew or Jewish people. I prefer to use the word Tanakh rather than the Old Testament because first, this text is first and foremost Jewish, and secondly, because today especially, I am interpreting this text from a Jewish perspective and not from a Christian perspective. In the Tanakh, there is a series of books called I always get this wrong, so give me a second. The Ketuvim, the wisdom literature. They were written at a time when wisdom literature across the Middle Eastern city-states was a popular practice. Just like at one point the Apocrypha texts were a popular practice, so were the Ketuvim. The wisdom texts of the Tanakh include the book of Proverbs, which, contrary to popular belief, was not written by King Solomon, but likely many different authors. The book is a series of wisdom sayings written specifically within the Jewish tradition and religion at the time, though modeled on other traditions' creation of wisdom texts. The verse I want to focus on today is from Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18. Like many ancient texts, there are multiple ways to translate this verse depending on multiple different factors. The most popular, not necessarily the most accurate, but the most popular translation of this text is from the King James Version of the Bible that writes, "Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he." The Jewish Tanakh translates this verse, "For lack of vision, a people lose restraint, but happy is he who heeds instruction." The New Revised Standard Version of the Bible, which is used by most scholars, says, "Where there is no prophecy, the people cast off restraint, but happy are those who keep the law." Now, this verse is most often quoted with just the first part. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Yet good exegetical work, which I don't get to do very often, I was actually really excited about this sermon today, that of examining a biblical or a scriptural text from any religious tradition, the scholarly work to translate, dissect, and interpret scripture would tell us that we cannot actually ignore the second part of this verse, the part that says, "Happy are those who keep the law." That part, of course, may make some of us Unitarian Universalists a little uncomfortable, and others of us a little puzzled as to what vision has to do with the law. So I think the first part of this verse is pretty clear. A people without vision or a people without prophecy perish or lose restraint. That is very practical wisdom. Even at the individual level, we need to want to have purpose to our life. Of course, we know that the journey is probably more important, but if we don't have a vision, we are really lost. Our vacation, as Bob says, may take some interesting and maybe not healthy or productive twists and turns if we don't know where we're going. But we want to know that we are a larger part of something, both individually and collectively. But especially collectively. Because together, the impact that we can have on a vision, the way we can create beloved community here on earth, can be multiplied in ways that we cannot do alone. But if we dig deeper into this understanding of vision, some questions begin to arise. Where does the vision come from? And we also know that we have to include that second part of that sentence because it's connected with the conjunction but, which brings us to the question, what does the law or instruction have to do with vision? Now, in the Jewish tradition, the law or instruction would have potentially two meanings. First, a more literal translation would be this: the Torah, which are the first 5 books of the Tanakh, include the books of law, the instructions for right living. But even that understanding of law is rooted in the second meaning. The law also refers to the covenant that the Hebrew people made with the divine. The law as the relationship, the covenant between the people and between the people and the divine. Now, as Unitarian Universalists, covenant is a word we're very familiar with, a word we can get behind. And I don't think it would be a huge stretch to say that our covenant with each other might also include the sacred, whether we consider the sacred a divine being or the sacred simply the relationship that we have with one another. That is part of this relationship. In this covenant is a commitment to being in relationship in ways that bring forth life for a community. If we begin with the second sentence, then, what I might say is that our sacred relationship with each other is what guides our vision, and we ignore it at our peril. That is, following our covenant brings us the happiness that we need to see and enact our future together. When we are together, prioritizing community and right actions that lead to a better world, we naturally create a vision of the future, and we ignore that vision at our own peril. The piece I want to emphasize here is community, the covenant. Visioning cannot be done individually. In fact, I would argue that even one's vision of your individual lives cannot be what makes you happy, especially if that personal happiness jeopardizes the flourishing of other people. No, vision derives from the relationships we have with one another. And those relationships and the sacredness in those connections widens our view exponentially, allowing us to dream wider and further than we can on our own. In a time when hyper-individualism reigns in both our culture and in our religious lives, visions are often ignored instead of flourishing. Churches are shrinking further and further in on themselves. Churches are paying attention to what they're comfortable with rather than listening to the collective imaginings of the people. It's very easy to perish when relationships are not centered, losing the vision that carries us forward. Intentionally or not, this process, our collective imaginings through our relationships here at DUUC, has given us, this church, a vision. And we walked through our historic vision last February at the launch of our capital campaign with our tree and acorns and leaves that were here. The tree of our church has grown tall because you all prioritized your relationships and worked together, which sprouted a vision. And then you did the most important thing. You enacted on that vision. Now, it would be really easy for us to say, we had a vision of growth and we hired a membership professional and in order to do that, we had to stabilize our finances through a capital campaign, and we've done those things. Boy, have we done those things. And now we can clean our hands and say, we're done. That's enough work for now. We don't need to do anything else for a time. Let us rest. But it is both sacred wisdom and practical knowledge that tells us if we hold here, if we choose not to vision any further than this moment, we will perish. Our community will flounder. Rather, now is the time to look wider, deeper, further. We need to see a vision for our children's children. We need to see a vision for people who are not yet here in our community. We need to see a vista that surprises and inspires and frankly sometimes scares us into new imaginings and possibilities. But that vision comes from us. The relationships we have with one another that drive us to grow in character, mind, and spirit, to transform ourselves and the world. Come, let us vision together.
Please rise in body or spirit and join in hymn 298, Wake Now My Senses.
Our closing words are from Wendell Berry from his poem, The Wisdom to Survive. And I'd like you to close your eyes, if you will, and imagine. If we will have the wisdom to survive, to stand like slow-growing trees on a ruined place, renewing, enriching it. If we will make our seasons welcome here, asking not too much of earth or heaven, then a long time after we are dead, the lives of our lives prepare to live here. Their houses strongly placed upon the valley sides, fields and gardens rich in the windows. The river will run clear, as we will never know it. And over it, birdsong like a canopy. On the levels of the hills will be green meadows, stock bells in noonshade. On the steeps where greed and ignorance cut down the old forest, an old forest will stand, its rich leaf fall drifting on its roots. The veins of forgotten springs will have opened. Families will be singing in the fields. In their voices, they will hear a music risen out of the ground. They will take nothing from the ground. They will not return, whatever the grief at parting. Memory native to this valley will spread over it like a grove, and memory will grow into legend, legend into song, song into sacrament. The abundance of this place, the songs of its people and its birds will be a health and wisdom and indwelling light. This is no paradisal dream. Its hardship is its possibility.
Please join me. We extinguish the light of this chalice, but not the light in our hearts. Until we meet again, may the warmth of our community carry you.